All right, here we go. Let me make sure I'm on the right type of. All right, making sure I'm on the right thing. Wi-Fi will die if I stay on Wi-Fi. So here's another deep state scam. So they'll call Pennsylvania from Kansas and say, "We have an individual that's fleeing an investigation." That's another. That's another thing to listen for. Right. What they'll do is they'll harass the person and psyop them and psychologically torture them and try to psychologically kill them, essentially murder them. Right. So then when they leave, they say, "We have somebody that's fleeing our investigation, and we'll let you know what we need you to do." And what the inference is that what they'll give you is that the person's on the verge of being arrested. So all you have to do is what they say, and that should, we believe that'll bring us to the fruition of our case. And essentially, what you're going to do is deny the victim their rights of moving into your community. It's been done in every place I've moved and lived, but for a couple places, right? Like a UFAP, like a fake UFAP, a fake fugitive to avoid. Right. So that's the inference is that I'm a unlawful flight to avoid prosecution, but they call it, a fugitive from our investigation. All right. Yeah, I guess I ran out of juice on one. I may be having trouble with this set here. I have to. If I have trouble with the battery on this one, then I think that's it. I think I'll send them all back, and that's that. Right. 'Cause that's what happened on the other one. The transmitter battery was bad. So the Earth is supposed to stop you like 15 years ago, 20 years ago from doing this thing by just making your life hell until you stop. Now that's happened over the years, but then they just hire someone else. Right. Thank you, Larry. And I told everybody in Naples and a couple other places, eventually I'm going to age, and the Earth is going to correct this, and something's going to happen. Things are going to happen to all of you when the correction takes place. So obviously, it could be foreseen that if you screw up my life, I could get into debt, right? Which has already happened. When I got sick, I had to borrow money, get some massages, kind of work to get me a little bit better, right? So that's the first part of the correction. What's going to happen now, I'm probably going to get about a $4,000 debt. And you're all laughing, and somebody's going to pay you a Harvey Weinstein bonus because you fucked me, and now the spies will, whoever the spycraft op, they'll get money because I have a bigger debt, and I moved out of the community, whatever it is, ha, ha, ha. But once that debt hits, you'll all be fucked. And it may be the entire globe. So what you see coming, you may not be able to get out of, no matter what happens. I told you not to do it as far back as Naples, when I understood what was going on. So again, I'll have that debt, but believe me, people will lose billions if the correction takes place. I mean, people are already stuck in houses. They have no idea how to get out of the house. Right. I mean, these things aren't normal for the world, and you're all accepting it as normal. We agree. So as soon as I incur that debt, there's nothing else I can do. You're going to try to argue that I could have did something different. This is what they do every time. Right. Right. If you're in Pennsylvania, you need to tell your PIs, you need to tell your cops that, there could be a fraud afoot. Right. Thank you, Larry. New Jersey heard me, and they somehow, and they stopped all the outside the police department pedophile investigation. But it does involve police departments. I'll let you know that there are a lot of police departments that are playing that scam, the pedophile hunters. Right. We don't know. You see an old man show up and they beat him up, right? You don't know what that is. You don't know what they did to that man. I can tell you right now that they psychologically beat me up and physically blocked my life for 35 years at least, with an intention to turn me into a pedophile. Now, I'll tell you, it happened in Tyler, Texas, and it went crazy out there. And an FBI agent got arrested for being a pedophile. And in Louisiana, the same area, another FBI agent. Actually, he was in Alabama, I think, at the time. Right. Hmm. And I'll tell you, the teachers also. Believe me, before I said that, there were some teacher arrests. But ever since, they're history. Right? The deep state used them because they were pedophiles. The deep state uses them as operators because they're too afraid to not, to reveal any truth about anything because they're afraid of being arrested for being a pedophile. The woman at the LDS church, quite possibly a pedophile. A lot of women had sex with young girls. I'm telling you right now, we don't have enough arrests. I know they're being covered up. I know they're being hidden, including female cops. Thank you, Larry. They do the sleepover thing. We have a couple of arrests on sleepovers, way more than what we're seeing. Right. Thank you, Larry. I got cops telling me I can't say a freaking thing, and I know the people I work with are probably touching kids the wrong way. And it was female lesbians. Right? They have a life like mine. Agreed. Well, women took over the planet and covered for one another. That's pretty much what happened. I agree. I was Lenape. I always thought it was Lenny Lenape. It's Lenny Lenape. Right. They're out in the east, and I was trying to see if they're on the western side. Western side, something they're saying something about Tuckahoe. Right. No, I was asleep. I go out like, believe me, I was an abused kid, but I wasn't like crazy, crazy. I had a lot of stuff going on. Again, if you're not awake, it's difficult, and if somebody's abusing you, it's difficult because what they want in your life is steering you. So I go out in the woods a lot, and not a lot alone, but enough. And we used to have like gazillion point bucks. Where was I? Fort Campbell, and I was on guard duty, and these like dog-sized things show up. I'm like, "What's that?" I said, "It's a deer." Nah. I used to be out there, but again, the part that I never understood was that there were Native American spirits with me when I was out in the woods. Right? It's a metaphysical repressed memory. That's what you have when you wake up as a seer or something like that. So like I knew I knew Chief Joseph, right? But I didn't know it back then. Right? When I woke up, I'm like, yeah, I know Chief Joseph. That's what that was. Yeah. My father was a history guy, and he passed on, but he left his books. So Chief Joseph was one of the people he wrote about. Let's him, I mean, my father a lot of like. I mean, I didn't know him, but as far as our interests, right? He was in the army and all that. He said, I first time I ever had heard from him. He said, but they didn't rip me off like you, but they did kill him. I wonder how they killed him. I wonder if it was the same thing, right? Now the seers watch the Jews, man, and they hate big Jews, right? They hate big seer Jews. They're afraid of them. Right? Yeah, my father was obviously a seer with the books he was reading. Just an accountant at that point, but who knows? Yeah, he was an inside guy. That's what I was told when I woke up. So, I love inside. I connect with the photos. So I know tons of Native Americans. I might pass on. I'll have my time with the people, but right. So I'll give you the vision I had of the afterlife of Chief Joseph. What was the first part? So he's walking and walking and walking in the afterlife. He passes on. I can't tell you whether it was the location where he was killed or somewhere else, but he's walking and walking. It's like wilderness kind of. Again, in visions, it's sometimes the same, sometimes it's different from what it actually is. And he's climbing this hill, this angle. He's going up this hill. He gets to the top of the hill, and all those people that had passed on, when they had that trouble, when they were fleeing the oppression, and all he was so sad of all the people, all the children and the women, and everybody that was the braves that were being killed. They were all on the other side of that like in the valley before him, when he crested the mountain, and they'd start cheering. Yeah. So the first thing he sees, the first beings he meets on the other side is all the people that passed on, the children and everybody. At that point, I don't know how old they were and all that, whether it was years later or not. Maybe it was just because Hashem can do a lot of different things. He can, back up time. So everybody's from that, even Chief Joseph, right. So, okay, yeah, he was younger. So, yeah, it's probably from that time period. Everybody probably looked like from that time period, right? He recreated that moment. Well, because we're actually form and formless. So you can take any form of your lifetime. You can relive a portion of your life. If Hashem said you were going to be something, he can have you relive it and actually live your life and say, this is the life you were supposed to have. And all the creation can watch you live that life and say, Hashem, will help us again understand what actually happened here. And each being will have like a lot of the recall that I have. Whew. I get these things in here. I have these metal cabinets like lockers. No, if I had to do it over again, if I could think about it a few months ago, I would have started because I could get I forgot I can get a trailer and I can take everything because of the expense. I'd rather buy all new stuff for the same price, right? But again, he blindsided me. Part of that's part of what the LDS was doing. They know how to do that. They curse you, and then you're blindsided, right? That's what they get the big houses for being devils. Just like everyone else. Well, you'll all learn what the scriptures actually say instead of perverting the scriptures like you all do. The scriptures always talk about an innocent group of people, and they're the little people, but you all play the other game, right? Well, trans people are mainly little people, right? Even if they have money, they're still little people, right? Right. Again, the exterior. The exterior is not anything that Hashem looks at, right? And of course, Jesus hinted, and his people hinted that somebody was causing people to fall. Right? Well, I was a little one for a while, but Hashem said, "That's it. All bets off. Now we're angel of vengeance." They got what they wanted, man. They wanted me to fuck everyone off, but I did it. And look at the world. Careful what you wish for, because Hashem might just give it to you. Right. Nah, it's been a long life. I mean, I've been isolated by these people, and they go, "Well, he doesn't reach out to anyone." And well, why would I? You're just going to do the same fucking thing over again, right? And then I bring somebody else into it. But I've reached out enough, right? Agreed. To know that you're going to just keep doing it, right? I don't know. Just tons of cops are in hell. Believe me, tons of cops. There's no the idea that Christianity speaks of cops as being grandfathered into heaven is bullshit. Right. But we're saving children. No, you're not. You're setting up a game, a scam, the fake charity. The cops are part of fake charity. Right. Now, it's not every cop, but most cops are part of fake charity. Right. Because you'd rather arrest somebody. You'd rather arrest somebody than be Barney Fife with nobody to arrest. So you're moving your will to cause crime. And in fact, you want that person to be a criminal. You want that person to be a criminal based upon whatever race. Your girlfriend thinks somebody's cute. You want them to be a criminal so you can arrest them. Right. No, actually, it's sad because most people think God's crazy if God does exist. People like, if that is real God, then God's crazy. But no, God's not crazy. The Bible speaks about an innocence. That type of innocence, and the people that are innocent, shifts throughout the Old and New Testament. Right. So it could very easily be, and I know it is trans people, because they're generally last. Now, what's going to happen is they're going to will them not to be last, and this might actually work. So something might change there. Well, no, it's just, again, they wouldn't be shooting anybody if they weren't cursed, is the way it works. If they were healed, first, they would not be violent. Second, and they're being psyop online. They're using algorithms to screw their head, right? Somebody wants them to be violent. Well, it could be Putin. Putin's got way in this country, believe me. He's a trillionaire. He's got way. They keep talking about Elon, a trillionaire. Elon's nobody compared to Putin. I just want you to know that. Right. I mean, you all got fantasies. Yeah, Bishop Elon of the social Christians. You know how much land mass? Okay, this is how it works. I'll explain it to you. How much land mass does Russia have? You see that big swath of land? Who do you think owns it? Who do you think owns Russia? Vladimir Putin. Yes, you do. Well, I'd say it's traditional. Right. He's like a czar, right, or king. Right. Well, it's traditional Russia, but he owns it. What he says goes. Right. Every square inch of it. Every square inch of Russia goes the direction that Vladimir Putin says, and sometimes he has to enforce it. But so did the czars. It's easier for him than it was the czars. Great. You may not agree with him. You may not agree with this person. You may not agree with that person. But who do you think owns North Korea? Kim. Every square inch of it. Every square. You're not going to do anything in Korea that he doesn't want done. Maybe you'll get some of it done, but not much. So why don't you meet with them and talk to them? You're not going to get there any other way. I mean, yeah, you can wait 2-3 generations or something for something to change. Who knows what? Right. So this idea that nothing happened when Vladimir Putin and Trump met is bullshit. Putin didn't get anything out of it. He already met with, like, Zelensky is put on the back burner because he met with. But how are you going to start relations if you don't start meeting? Like, 100%. Who knows? I mean, nothing might come in their lifetime, but as long as there's meetings, then something's happening. Right. There's no reason that we stop meeting other than the deep state. Right. Well, you can't completely trust Russia or Putin, but the reality is, we could have much better peacefully coexisted. Right. The distrust comes from not meeting. Right. But I was in 2014. I'm like, yeah, get them in the NATO. Forget this if they're going to, because they were interfering too much in their government, in the Ukrainian government. That was wrong. But I don't think we would have gotten to that if you'd have met with them. Right. Look, I'm not responsible. You fucked my life off from fucking like 1991 at least. Right. Right. It could have been a crazy spy. The CIA won't even tell you the worst of it, right? Of what goes on in this world at the hands of their idiots. They cursed me. I knew my keys were back here in the back of the van, but I didn't check it before I locked the lock. And I usually check, double check, attention to detail kind of stuff. Right. To see, I know they cursed me. I have no idea how I'm going to survive, that debt, but it'll be what it'll be. You know what I mean? God will deal with it. I don't have to worry about it. Worse you make my life, the worse it gets for everyone else also. Told you that before. These operators are lying to all of you. They could let me live my life. The whole world would have went out. Their CIA people know that if you let Larry live his life, then everything goes up. They know that. Thank you, Larry. I'm trying to think if I need to get something from Walmart. There was something at Walmart I can't even remember I was going to buy. It's absolute waste of 2.5 years. Right. Like the bank FNBO is a Q here. F the fucking BO. They keep making fake debts for people. Right? Instead of paying people, you owe. Or instead of the person being paid, they end up owing. Right. So nasty here. The weather's like the shittiest in the country right now. I just gotta start bopping stuff into boxes tomorrow. I got mostly everything I need to get out. The one big thing I have to actually need somebody to move that with me. I mean, I can do it, but I really don't want to harm myself or anything trying to move it. But I could just rip everything out of cabinets and drawers and throw it into those bin boxes. Nah, I gotta get out of here. This place is sick. I should have got out of there last year. I just wasn't well enough to get out. Right. Yeah, if I'd have went to Colorado Springs, I doubt this would have been this bad. Right? Nah, they throw back here horribly. I mean, this is another country. This is not the United States here. This is another country. Right? It's that bad. I agree. Oh, yeah, I could do that, I guess. Well, the point is, what Hashem said to me is that you can get rid of some stuff, but why get rid of something when it fits in the truck and you got to get the truck anyway? Right. Doesn't make any sense. You can get rid of it on the other side. Right. And you might, who knows, so that, you have more time to figure it all out. Right. They make money if I throw stuff away. If I went mad and threw everything away and got rid of everything, they get a big bonus. They're sick, man. Some of the sickest people in the country. And they'll spend an eternity in hell, which isn't forever, but believe me, it's much longer than they could possibly fathom. There, you don't forget about anything. And you'll be reminded of everything you all did in this lifetime. Right. The average person's not going to hell. These people are going to hell. The people I speak about. All the famously big people who now own churches. You know what it is? It's all the people that were reincarnated on this planet that were like, the Sadducees and Pharisees that were killing rabbis, the Romans, right? Nero. They're all still on the planet, but they're billionaires. Like Peter Thiel could be Nero. That's how bad it is, right? Because they hate Christianity. They want to take it over and destroy it, right? He may not even know it, but he could be Nero, wanting to take over Christianity and destroy it. He wasn't even here when I started talking about that. It was probably like 15 years ago at least, right? No, yeah, there's no way out of what they're doing. When you start, as soon as he does the right thing, everything will settle down, and they know. They know they're killing people. They think it's funny. They feel powerful. They run off and have sex over it, right? LDS I'm sure they're having sex with the LDS with the shit I ran into. Come on. They're fakes, man. The whole church is fake. They're murderers and sex fiends. That's coming from a detective somewhere. Nice. Some detectives holding a bunch of cases. He can't get anywhere with them. They won't let him. Right. Hey, I just came in to say hello and see, maybe I could make some friends. Y'all gamed me. Y'all got gamesmanship. Right. The LDS got game. Right. I mean, I'm just floored by the whole thing. Like, who knows how many more churches like that in all the other denominations. Right. I could have been with a woman, lived a quiet life, right. Went to church, not knowing any better about anything. Your people are loose ends, all of you. They caused it all to be exposed. Day after day for decades, man. Torturing somebody, laughing about it, having sex over it. Party! But everybody's always innocent. Always having issues. Oh, I'm gonna go down because